Okay, well, we're back. I'm going to try the dreaded screen share one more time. Are you seeing my screen? Do you see Portugal? Oh my God. Are you still there? Well, I don't know what the problem is. I'm sorry. I will just, do you have it up for you on, I'll just pull it up. I won't share the screen, but I'll just pull it up, and we can go over it together.
Sure.
Okay. And one more thing I'm going to try. And let me know if did you magically start seeing what I'm sharing yet?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. I figured it out then.
Okay, good.
Okay. I have two screens and it didn't like the screen I was trying to share it on.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, now we know. Okay. So I'm just going to start at the top, with the information. You know what the price is,
Mhm.
$3,300. It includes all the hotels, which are all, four-star hotels, include breakfast. And we have one tour guide for the whole time,
Oh,
which
that's
is,
good.
yeah, it is good. I learned in Greece, it was hard not having that. So now, um, we have one guide. We actually have one bus. So it's the kind of thing where we could leave things on the bus and that kind of
Mhm.
thing. The transfers are included and it is arranged so that if people have different flight times, we can pick up at different times. We don't all have to be on the same flights. And all the tours that are in the itinerary, of course, included all the admissions, and winery. It's only one dinner included, which is our farewell dinner. And
Mhm.
then, there's an optional dinner, which is a fado dinner with music and, kind of traditional multi-course dinner in Lisbon
Okay.
that I put on there. And then we have the optional 3-day beach trip, which I'll go over. So the things not included would be the air, which is to be booked by each person, but I can help. Looks like Susan is joining us.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Um, but there's some flexibility with the air schedule because the transfers are custom to when you come in. I mean, we'll probably end up grouping them together, but it's good to be, in by early afternoon and leave by early afternoon if possible. And
Mhm.
then, I can help with air if you need that because I know you had asked me that.
Yeah,
But
I don't.
do we have you, Susan? Did you join us?
Yes.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi. Sorry.
Hi. It's okay. I just
Um,
started.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm coming from my nephew's Footloose show.
Oh, how cool. Great. Well, I'm recording this because a lot of people couldn't make it. So I was just going over the beginning of what was included and not included. On this one, just briefly, breakfasts are included, our farewell dinner, and then there's an optional dinner in Lisbon that you can add. Otherwise, lunches and dinners on your own, like it's been for other trips. And then, the insurance is mandatory again. And once the final payment is made in July, then you would need insurance to cancel, which basically covers for health or
Mhm.
medical reasons. And that includes immediate family. So parents, kids, some kind of emergency that would keep you from traveling, that would kick in. It doesn't it doesn't kick in for change of mind, passport issues, work, that kind of thing, just to let you know. Um, and it's your medical insurance while traveling. And then there's a couple of optional things that we'll go over on the itinerary that, would be extra. Not too many. Most everything to do on this trip is included. And then tips, of course. So the main extra costs are lunches, dinners, and tips, and then your air and insurance. So I'm going to dig into the itinerary. I already talked about basically if you can arrive by early to mid-afternoon is best, but the transfers will be catered to your arrival time. There is a 3-day pre-trip, which is going to be going to the Algarve coast. And so for everyone that's going on that, when they land in Lisbon, I really do want everybody to try to be there by 2 or so, so that we can transfer all together because we have one transfer taking us down to the coast. And then we have 3 days there. The resort is 4-star resort. It's beachfront. It's a public beach, which, so, I mean, the good news, bad news, anybody can be on the beach, but it also means there's things like vendors, parasailing, beach chairs. Typically there's food and drink vendors. So I kind of like that. Kind of wish we had it more here. So, and then, so that's always available. And then we have a beach day, kind of like we did in Greece on our 3rd day. First day, I don't have any dinners or anything planned, but for people who might be really jet lagged, they have restaurants at the hotel and room service. And then the next day, and for some reason, this is something I'm really excited about. I planned it once for a client, and I've been wanting to see it ever since. We have a sailing trip out to the Benegal Cave, which is this really cool cave with the hole in the top. And then it's also just like a sailing trip of the area. So that's included, and we'll do that all together. And then we have afternoon and evening on our own. There's an area near the restaurant that you can walk to called Restaurant Street, which I'm just suggesting might be a good place to go that night. That's a picture of it. And then the next day is kind of our leisure day at the beach. They have parasailing, kayaking, jet skis, paddle boards. There's also an old town to go to for shops and restaurants, and or a combination of both, which is probably what I would do. Beach day, head into the old town for the evening, afternoon. We'll probably be a smaller group for the pre-trip, so I could see more, maybe dinners together if people want. When we get to the main trip, if it is 20 people like it was for Greece, tends to end up more, smaller groups of 4, 6, whatever, because it's hard to get everybody in a restaurant. And if I plan it, then that and not everybody wants to go, it gets tricky with the restaurant. So I think I'm going to leave the dining a little more
Mhm.
open. But as you guys know, because you've traveled, the WhatsApp is pretty handy for saying, "Hey, we're going here. Someone wants to join," or 6 o'clock, we're getting a taxi, or whatever works out pretty well. So for those that were on the pre-trip, we'll travel back to Lisbon together and go check into our hotel in Lisbon. And for those arriving that day, they'll be transferred according to their schedule to the Lisbon hotel. And we don't have anything planned that day. There's lots of restaurants near the Lisbon hotel. It's in a really good area. And there's a restaurant at the hotel. So if people were flying in that day and tired, it'll be easy to get food. So that day is pretty much just arriving in Lisbon. And then the next day we have our Lisbon city tour, which includes the highlights and includes the Geronimos Monastery. And then I had an option and I added, they have this carriage museum that I just thought was kind of cool, where they have all the carriages from the palace through some of the years. So I thought that was a nice little touch to add. Um, and so what will happen is we'll do that in the morning, and then we have time for lunch on our own. And then for people who want to, there's an optional Segway tour at 3:30. So for those who want, they can either stay in that area of Lisbon and shop and walk around if they don't want to do the Segway tour. And then they can take the bus back with everybody. If they really just wanted to go back to the hotel, they could do that too on their own via taxi or Uber. But for those who want, I'm hoping most people will want, we have a Segway tour. And I had some options how to do it. I chose the easiest one since it'll be the first time for a lot of people. It's along the river front, it's flat. And they said it's perfect for beginners. So I think it's a fun little optional. As you know, I like to add something kind of active and a little bit of a stretch. So um, I think it's going to be really fun. I've done it like 3 times. I don't think I haven't done it on a Wanderlust trip though yet. So then we'll all go back to the hotel in Lisbon, and that evening there's an optional fado dinner, which is kind of a traditional music dinner. It's multi-course. It's optional, but they'll have the traditional music there. They eat late there, so it starts late. It starts at 8, and it's about 2.5 hours, but it is optional, and they have vegetarian option. And then the next day we go out to Sintra, which is another thing I'm excited about. That's this like orange and yellow palace that you kind of see in a lot of pictures of Portugal. So we have a tour of Sintra, and of the we'll have time for lunch, and they're taking us out to Estoril and Cascais, which are like beach towns, coastal towns in the area that we'll have a little time to spend in. So we have full day out in that area. And then, and actually, this is the one day that we're going to transfer to a smaller bus, like a mini bus, because the big bus can't get up there. But we will do that. We will go back and have the evening on our own. And then the next morning, we leave Lisbon. And I'm also excited about this because I have sent clients, I've never been. Óbidos is a wall, I haven't been to Portugal actually, but Óbidos is a walled medieval city. It's supposed to be really cool to walk around and explore. And then it has a castle in it. And Spain and Portugal have done a good job of, they preserve their old buildings like monasteries and castles and such into in Spain they call them paradors, and they're actually kind of government run, and they're restored into hotels. So we get to stay at the castle and spend the night. And what I did here, even though dinner's on our own, I reserved a time so we can all eat together and eat in the castle, so that that'll be easier. And then also time to explore the town, and they'll also on the way there be giving us a little tour of the area. But that's it. So that is our night in Óbidos. And then the next day we depart, just one night there, and we go to the Douro Valley for 2 nights. That's kind of their wine country area. And sorry, someone was emailing me. I thought they might be trying to get in. So that's their wine country area. But on the way, we stop in Coimbra, which is a university town. It's one of the oldest European universities actually is there, and I think the oldest European library, which is supposed to be pretty cool to see. And then we drive through some of the Douro Valley areas and spend the night for 2 nights in our Douro Valley hotel, which is this. So again, even though dinner isn't included, I'm making a reservation because this isn't someplace we would just like walk out and find someplace to eat. So that's our resort, our hotel. And then the next day, oh, I guess we're actually only there one day, one night. We will, another optional, oh, Kay is joining us. Do you know Kay, Susan? She was, had daughters at King's. Um,
I'm not sure.
Hi, Kay, if you can hear us. Oh, she's gone. Okay. Well, I'll send her the recording if she doesn't get it. So the next day we have another one of our optional tours. We've done this now in Greece and Ireland actually. And it's another one that can feel a little at first like if you're not used to it, and then you pretty quickly get used to it, and it's pretty fun. And it's an hour and a half e-bike tour through the wine country. And so we're all gonna leave all together at 9:15 from the hotel after breakfast, and then we start the e-bike tour at 9:30. And if there's those that don't want to do it, then you have time in the Ragua, which I'm told is charming and worth spending time in if you don't want to do this activity. It's an hour and a half, and then we all together will go on to, we're going to a winery for a tour and for lunch. So we have that going on. And then we have a cruise on the Douro River in the afternoon or after the winery tour. And then we head to Porto for, this is where we are for 2 nights. And we'll check in. It's centrally located, able to walk to shops and restaurants in the area, has rooftop bar, I believe, a rooftop cafe, which I'm a sucker for. And so another night we're on our own, but walking distance to things for dinner. And actually, it will have been a pretty long day. And then the next day we have a half day tour of the highlights of Porto, and that's guided. And then afternoon is at leisure and open for final shopping or exploring or relaxing at the hotel. And then we have a farewell dinner, which is included. And it features Porto wines and nice dinner. So we'll do that all together. And the next day, it's departure day. And again, they will arrange transfers according to your schedule of your air. So I think it's easiest if they're early afternoon, but we can arrange to any schedule for departure. It's not quite as locked in as it was like when we were trying to get off an island in Greece. And the transfers back to the airport are included. So that's pretty much the itinerary in a quick nutshell. And do you guys have any questions?
I do. I was
Uh-huh.
wondering, are the guides, is it like in Greece where it's like a different one each time, or is it like one guide like when we were in Iceland?
It's like one guide like Iceland. I kind of learned
Okay.
from Greece, and that was kind of hard for me and a lot of transition too, I think. So now I'm trying to focus more on having one guide. One thing I really liked about Iceland is that I actually liked the small bus. I would prefer a minibus. Hi, Kay.
Yeah, agree.
Um, but I don't know, for whatever reason, both in Ireland and this trip, they seem more dialed into giving us the bigger bus. I mean, there's pros and cons. You get your own seat, and in Ireland, we had a few people get sick, and we could stick them in the back. But the nice thing is, by having one bus the whole time, we can keep things on it. You know, you don't have to restart every day with bringing everything on and off necessarily. So, but yes, we have
Yes,
one
that is
guide.
much nicer.
Yeah, one guide and one vehicle the whole time, except our day trip to Sintra, because they can't bring a big bus up there actually. So we'll transfer
Okay.
vehicles that day.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
Yeah. Anything else? Hi, Kay. I know you're just joining us. We pretty much went through the itinerary, but I can send you the recording, and now we're on questions.
Wonderful. That's great. Sorry I'm late, but I wanted
Okay.
to at least get a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. Did you have any questions, Donna?
Um, Not about the trip, but about all the details, like what do you bring, all those, things like that.
Yeah. So for this meeting was a little bit more about the trip for people who are interested in
Right.
going. And then I will have, just like I've done for my past trips, one closer, like a
Right.
couple weeks out. And I'll make a packing list. This one is pretty easy. Like I'm a little focused on my Alps hiking trip packing list because that
Right.
one is a little needs a little more specific things. But this one's pretty general, and it's not like Iceland where we needed, needed to be prepared for all kinds of weather and needed durable things. The weather will be pleasant in September. It will still be warm. It's kind of more like, a vacation where if you do the pre-trip, you'll have beach time. So it'll be beach things. And then the rest of the time it's, nice weather in Europe time. So it's just about comfortable shoes and whatever you want to wear. But it should be pretty easy to pack. And no special visas or entry requirements. It's just your passport. Typically the EU requires 3 months left on it. So everyone should make sure about that. Kay, you're just joining us. Like I said, unfortunately, I just ran through the whole itinerary, but do you have any questions?
No, I'm just looking at it. And you said it was recording?
Yeah, so I'll send you a recording so that you can kind of hear the highlights of what we're doing.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but I basically just kind of ran through it. The other two ladies have been on one of my trips, and I know you haven't, but for you or anybody else that watches the recording, our trips are pretty friendly, and we all kind of just have a sense of adventure. And we've all, in all three of my trips, we've all gotten along really well, gotten to know each other. If anything, that is the one reason why I prefer the smaller bus, because it was easy to join in on conversations and we could all kind of be hearing the same thing. But I like the sense of camaraderie that goes on these trips, and we do end up just sharing a lot on our WhatsApp group of like, okay, because dinners aren't included on this trip. We're heading out for dinner if anyone wants to join, or we're heading to the pool, or who wants to share a cab to Old Town. So it's kind of a mixture, especially on this trip. There's a couple of long days, but there's a little bit more of an activity in the day and free time, afternoon and evening.
Great. What is your, do you have a date that we would have to let you know by?
My final payment on this is the best time to let me know by, which is, sorry, I'm looking for it. It's July 10th.
July 10th.
So actually, that is kind of when I would need to know, because they release space after that.
Of course.
And then it would be a matter of, it wouldn't be impossible, but it would be a matter of me having to get space back, which I wouldn't know for sure I could do.
No, I understand. And then do you have a limit of as far as how many ladies?
Yeah, 20. And we have 10
Okay.
spots still. So this will be one of my bigger trips. And that's about how many we had for Greece. It's kind of my upper limit. But I think because we have a full bus and one tour guide, that will make this 20 should be good.
Great.
But I like to feel like we all got to know each other, and, like not like a big bus or a
Right.
big tour, I guess I should say. So yeah, well, I'll send you the link, Kay, and if you
Okay.
guys don't have any other questions, I hope all three of you will be able to join. And I'm happy to help with things like air, or you can sign up as a single. We can find roommates. There's, lots of options in how we work it. So far, it's worked out when several times I've had people come that didn't know anybody, twice, actually. And on the first time, they brought 3 people the next time. And then the next time, in Greece, I had 2 people sign up that didn't know anybody, and they were roommates, and it all worked out really well. So it's not unusual. Okay,
Great.
great. Well, thanks for joining, and let
Hey,
me know if you have
Kelly,
any.
can I ask you one more?
Yeah, of course.
Like, so what do we do to pay you? I mean, if we
Ah,
want to do this.
Yeah. So if you were to go to my website and go to upcoming trips, is that showing on my screen? What I'm
You're
doing?
looking for it, yeah.
Okay. So upcoming trips is on the opening page. The top of that is the Alps trip, since that's next. And then the bottom of it is the Portugal trip. The complete itinerary is what I just showed you. And then this booking page for Portugal, that's where you sign up.
Okay.
And I think pretty much everything I just went over is on here.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
That's the booking part. Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.